Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning. All right, I'm going to make your head spin to start the day. Yeah, we're going to talk numbers about something real quick. Just so people can understand this, because numbers get tossed around and we can't comprehend some of this stuff. The human mind just isn't capable. You talk about the latest deal. Elon Musk wants a $1 trillion compensation package from Tesla. The human brain cannot comprehend how big a trillion is, okay? I mean, it's nuts. Now try to comprehend how big $38.3 trillion is. I mean, your hand's going to get tired writing all the zeros. And that's how far in debt we are, okay? I want to give you a little context here, just so you have an idea how big $38 trillion is. All the gold mined ever in the world, everything that's out there, gold bars, gold jewelry, pick it, gold coins, you name it, all the gold in the world, at market prices where we are now, which is practically all-time highs, is worth $28.6 trillion. So if the United States owned every ounce of gold that was ever created, okay, mined, we'd still be $10 trillion short. This is why when people ask, do you think they'll ever confiscate the gold again? It ain't going to make a difference. Okay, just give you that. If you took all the privately owned land, and when I say privately owned, I mean the entire country of the United States, from Maine to Florida to California to Washington, including Hawaii and Alaska, all the land that is not owned by the government, and sold it today, it's worth $40 trillion. If we sold our country, the entire country, we could pay off the debt. And we'd have $1.7 trillion left over. Woo-hoo. The entire country, guys. And the U.S. is what, the fourth largest country by land mass in the world? Okay. If you took the entire stock market, everything that's traded on the New York Stock Exchange, everything that's traded on the NASDAQ, everything that's traded on the pink sheets, whatever, everything, market capitalization of those companies, the total market capitalization of all the companies in the United States that trade, okay, because you still have ADRs and foreign companies and yada-da-da-da that trade. Everything that trades in the U.S., $72 trillion. That's not even double what we owe. Are you getting the idea? I mean, gold is stunning, but the land is enough to make your jaw drop. You know, if you don't pay your mortgage on your house, they foreclose, and that includes the land. If we don't pay if it was a secured loans, okay, if we didn't pay the national debt back, let's say China owned all the bonds, China could come and foreclose on the entire country. That's how far in debt we are. Okay. This got me going because I read an article this morning about what it would take, okay? And something I didn't know, maybe you didn't know, there's actually been a period in the United States where the country has been debt-free since our inception. 1 year. That was it. 1 year. 1835, Andrew Jackson the United States had no debt. And mind you, back in 1835, there was no income tax, okay? That didn't start until the 1910s. And it was all paid by tariffs and excise taxes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. So, yeah, Trump has got an idea, all right? We ain't gonna make $38 trillion, okay? I mean, yippee. All this talk about, oh, we're gonna get $2,000 refund checks, right? Because of the tariffs, rather than pay off the debt. This will absolutely dumbfound you, okay? Now, does any of you out there have a job that pays you $1 a second? I doubt it, okay? If you're making $60 a minute, congratulations, all right? There are people that literally do this, okay? But here's the deal. If you made $1 a second, that would mean you make $86,400 a day, or about $32 million a year. So the next time you look at one of these pro athletes' contracts, or what some Hollywood actor makes, or whatever, there are people literally that make $1 a second. Not a lot of us, but there are. There's 341.5 million U.S. citizens in the United States, okay? That's how many taxpayers. People, you can't say taxpayers because, you get an infant as a U.S. citizen, but count it. All right, so 341.5 million U.S. citizens. If every U.S. citizen paid, not earned, paid $1 per second in tax, 24/7, with 100% of the money going to pay the U.S. debt off. Okay? That means each U.S. citizen's paying $32 million a year. Okay? Because we've all got that, it's stuffed in a mattress, right? A princess and a pea, you got mattresses to the moon, all right? If every single one of us did that, we could pay off the national debt in just under 4 years. This is how far in debt we are. $1 per second, every second of every day for nearly 4 years from every single person in this country is what it would take to pay off our debt. Yet we just went through the whole congressional shutdown where the Democrats wanted to add another $1.5 trillion. It's got to the point where it's monopoly money to them, okay? It doesn't matter. What's another zero or two? Who cares? We're never paying it off. You know me, I've said for 5 years since the advent of this channel, I've said it longer than that in my life, obviously. The goal is to be debt-free for anybody, for any individual, for any company, for any government, okay? And yes, I get there is leverage. I get there is good debt. We've talked about that before. The way a lot of companies, the way a lot of people make money is making it with other people's money. I mean, if you're borrowing money at 5%, but you're getting an 8% return on it, yeah, you're netting out the 3. That's positive for you. But you aren't doing that on your credit cards. You aren't doing that on your car loan. Maybe if you're lucky, you're doing it on your house, okay? Historically, you have not. Long term, short periods of time, yes, you have. But this is the verge of financial collapse the country's on. And it's coming. We know that. Nobody can tell you what day, but it ain't far off. Where the dollar collapses, the U.S. economy completely collapses, where we go into a greater depression because we're broke. When companies go under, I mean, again, the entire stock market capitalization is only twice the national debt. That means literally you can wipe out half the companies in this country. Gone. Half of them. Do you work for one of those companies? Maybe. Okay. The value of those companies goes to zero. Whatever you can do to get yourself out of debt, because when it gets bad, the banks who are going to want their money from the government and aren't getting it are going to want their money from you. And they're going to start calling in notes. And they're going to make it extremely difficult for you to keep whatever you own. Unless you already own it. What do you think is going to happen to taxes? We hear all the talk over and over about property taxes. We talk about this all the time, that they want to get rid of property taxes. And property taxes should disappear for the seniors and stuff like that. And sure, I'd love it, okay? I'm not quite a senior yet, but I'm getting close. Not that my taxes are that big, but hey, you know what? If I don't have to pay $1,300 a year, I'm not going to complain. But I like a police department. I like a fire department. I like roads. I like the fact that the electricity works in the stoplights, that sort of stuff. Somehow that's got to get paid for. A lot of people, their answer is a national sales tax. We should go to a flat tax or something. A national sales tax or whatever, at about 23 or 24%, I think is what they're called. Europe's tried some of this, okay? A long, long, long time ago. I think it was 1989 or 1990. One of my first jobs after college, but it's got to be 1990. I was up in Chicago. You guys know that, okay? And for about a year, I worked for a collection agency collecting money from companies that owed unemployment insurance tax. Illinois Department of Employment Securities, for those of you guys that live up in Illinois, you know this one, okay? There are, at that time, millions and millions, if not billions of dollars that were in arrears for taxes, on unemployment taxes, okay, that companies have to pay. And we were trying to get this for the state unemployment fund. Can you imagine how much money, if every retailer in the country is now a tax collector? I can't find this information. How much sales tax that is collected by the grocery store, by the hardware store, by Walmart, whatever it is in arrears? You paid it to that store, but now that store has to pay it to the government. And how much of that is missing? Do I think it's a good idea? Yeah, but there's got to be a better way to do it, because people aren't perfect. People make mistakes. Mail gets sent late. I can't tell you, again, going back 35 years, how many companies had $50 outstanding bills because their taxes were postmarked a day late. Just like the IRS. If it ain't postmarked by April 15th, you're late. Well, I had it at the post office on April 15th, but it didn't get postmarked until the 16th. People try to wait till the last second, like that interest on that one day. You didn't mail it on the 14th. That interest that one day was putting it to the man. No. We need, the public needs to prepare ourselves for financial Armageddon. Because there is going to be a day, just like Lebanon, or just like Venezuela, or just like Cuba, or pick a country throughout history where one day your money ain't worth squat. Mrs. P can talk about it. She lived through the devaluation of the ruble. Wake up one Monday morning and, oh, by the way, your money just got cut in half last night. Every ruble was now worth 50 kopecks. Okay, that was it. Prepare accordingly. Get out of debt. Pay off your house. Pay off your car. Pay off your student loans. Whatever. Pay off your credit cards. It's an amazing feeling when you get your paycheck and go, honey, we don't have squat for bills. The electric bill, the phone bill, the water bill. Look how much money's left in our savings account. Try it. You'll like it. Pinball out.